It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, it's showtime. What's happening, everybody? The Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. out in Los Angeles. Please subscribe, share, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. Subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. You might have heard my guest. He's going to mute his mic for me. I'm going to bring him on in a second. So, a programming note. This is probably, I'm still debating. So, in theory, check in at 6:30. There's a chance I'm going to do one last live show for 2022. But this is scheduled to be the final live show for 2022. And the new year, the first show of the new year, 2023, will be on January the 3rd. As I check this check the calendar, real time on camera. Yes, Tuesday, January 3rd. Well, I knew that anyway, but there you go. So, I hope everybody had a great weekend. So we got six days until Christmas. So today's monologue, let's talk about Christmas. And we talk about gifts. You know, this is the time of year. You know, the kids, they've sent their list to Santa, and you know, they want whatever the latest, the hottest toy is. They want the PlayStation, or they want the virtual reality goggles and the whole 9 yards, or something to that effect. But you know what the greatest gift, or maybe some kids, they want a bike, they want a football helmet, or a basketball, or maybe a soccer ball, or you know, maybe they play baseball, they want a brand new glove and bat. But the greatest gift that we can give our children doesn't cost a dime, doesn't cost a penny. You know, the greatest gift that we can give our children is us, ourselves, our time. Your children, our children, when your child is 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, they don't know anything about money. The only thing they know about money and materialism is what we teach them. But you know what? A baby, an infant, a toddler, a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old, you know what they do know? They know about mommy and daddy. And mommy and daddy come home, and when they come home from a hard day's work, or maybe they've been out of town for whatever reason, maybe they could be a professional athlete or a business person that has to travel, and you know, maybe mommy and daddy's been gone for a week or 3 days or 2 months or whatever it is. Or maybe it could be a military family, and dad or mom, they are serving overseas, and they come home on leave, or maybe they've done their tour of duty and they come home for good, or they're stationed back in the States. They want mommy and daddy's time. They don't know anything about money. Your 5-year-old, the only thing that 5-year-old knows about money is what you teach them. But when that child is 3 or 2, they want mommy, they want daddy. They want our time. As a matter of fact, so I read a very interesting article today. Nick Cannon, you know, who's got 11 children. There's been a lot said about him. I've shared my take just about being a parent and what children really want and need. And some people thought I was throwing shade. And I'll say this, and this applies. But anyway, now this is interesting. Nick Cannon was quoted in his interview as saying, you know, one of his biggest regrets, if not his biggest regret, is that he doesn't have more time or enough time to spend with all of his children. Now he's got 11 children. It is humanly impossible to spend the time that you would want or they would want with all 11 children. I'm sure Nick, because there are people who I know that know Nick very well, say he's a great dad, and I believe that. But there's just some things that unless you can clone yourself and clone your spirit and soul in 11 different bodies, it's just impossible to just quote unquote be there and provide the time. And he's got a busy career. It's just impossible. You can't be in 11 places because children, like all humans, they have different needs at different times. They have different personalities, different makeups. They react to stress differently. It's just, and every situation is different. The circumstances that they might be living in that he has no control over. So the point I'm trying to make is that the greatest gift that we can give our children is the gift of time, our time. And when I say that, I don't just mean physically be in their presence. I mean to be there mentally and emotionally and spiritually, along with physically, connected, engaged, listen, teach, nurture, love, guidance, direction, discipline when needed. Just your time. That's what our kids want. They want our time. Yeah, they may want the virtual reality goggles. They may want the PlayStation. They may want the tablet. You know, they want a cell phone, but they don't need a cell phone at 5 or 8 or 10 anyway. Maybe not to 13 or 14. That's a different conversation. But they kids, that's the greatest gift that we could give. Really, it's the greatest gift you can give anyone. It's the gift of time. Time is priceless. You can be worth $200 billion, but all that money can't buy time, especially time that's gone. You can't replace it. When time is gone, it's gone. It's priceless and it's free. It doesn't cost a penny to give. You just have to make the person that you are giving that time to a priority. So just think about that. Merry Christmas. And when you've got all those wonderful gifts under the tree and the kids come downstairs or, you know, upstairs or wherever, when they get up and they look at the tree and get under the tree and they see all these wonderful gifts that are wrapped or unwrapped. They see a brand new bicycle or brand new PlayStation or brand new their favorite doll or whatever it is. Just remember, the most precious gift that you can give them doesn't cost a penny. It's the gift of time, the gift of yourself. So you've heard me talk a lot about, you know, the HBCUs and how we as a culture and a community need to support these HBCUs. There's been a lot of talk. Hall of Famer Deion Sanders had talked about that, who was the head coach of Jackson State, who's accepted a job at the University of Colorado. Well, their last game was over the weekend, championship game, Jackson State, and they lost their game. So it got me to thinking. It's like, you know, there's been a lot of talk about Deion Sanders leaving, which, listen, like I said, Deion was, and he really didn't hide it. It was pretty clear that Deion Sanders was not going to stay at HBCU for 10 years or 20 years. He didn't go there for that. But he brought a lot of attention. There's a lot of talk now, the fact that we're talking about it now, to HBCUs. But why don't we, as a culture and a community, we can step in the breach we can build upon, we can build upon what Deion started at Jackson State, and we can scale that up, as they say. We can kind of copy and paste. Now, granted, you're not going to copy and paste Deion Sanders, but there are a lot of talented, a lot of talented young and not so young coaches that would love to get an opportunity to really turn around a program. Now, I know it costs a lot of money, but this is where we, as parents, as moms and dads, and aunts and uncles, can really step in the breach. Why don't we start feeding into our kids? It's like, listen, why don't a group of you all that's really talented, instead of 7, 8, 9, or 10 of you all going to a SEC school or a Big Ten school or ACC school or Pac-10, man, why don't 10 or 12 of you all, 10, 15 of you all go to a HBCU? 10 or 15, they call 5-star recruits, or 10 or 15 or maybe 20, 4-star. But don't wait and plant that seed when they're juniors in high school. Start having those conversations. Start feeding, building that, and developing that kind of sense of community and building something when they're in middle school, when they're freshmen in high school. And now, the good thing is, because the NCAA has changed the rules, that's the governing body of college sports, they can get what they call name, image, and likeness deals. Now, not every player is going to get that, granted. Only the best of the best players, but still, that can be a carrot. And the 5-star recruits, that a couple kids that could get the name, image, and likeness deals, can get some of their buddies to come along with them and turn around a program. Because the one thing I do know for a fact is, if you got game, as they say, if you got talent and you bring some talented people with you, the scouts, the television cameras, the contracts, the NIL money will find you. Because the National Football League is always looking for talent. And now, you've got other leagues just underneath the National Football League. But the goal is, most of these kids, their dream is to play, especially if they're going to the University of Alabama or Georgia or Southern Cal or someplace like that, Ohio State, Michigan. Their goal is they want to play pro. They want to go pro. But you can still go pro playing at Jackson State or Grambling, hell, at Howard or Morehouse. If you got talent, they'll find you. So let me bring in, he is a guest. I'm going to bring him on camera now. He is part of the Geno Jones show. As a matter of fact, he coaches. He's been coaching for a while. He's had a training program, training young men, high school and college athletes, in terms of developing their overall skills. Just a good dude. And he's joining me now, part of the Geno Jones show family, Coach Chris Matthews. Coach Matthews.
What's up, Geno? How you doing, brother?
How you doing, man?
How's it going? I'm great, man. Can't complain, man. Getting ready for the holidays.
Yes. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa to our Kwanzaa brothers and sisters. For our Jewish brothers and sisters, happy Hanukkah. This is the first night of Hanukkah for our Jewish brothers and sisters out there. And we got Kwanzaa coming up, like right when Hanukkah ends. Kwanzaa begins on December 26th. So we're going to shout everybody out. So listen, you heard me talking about the greatest gift that we as parents can give our kids is the gift of time. But some of the things we can do with that time is maybe trying to develop a sense of community and building something. I know you and I have talked about it off camera many times. There's been a lot of talk about supporting HBCUs. And of course, Jackson State's football team got a lot of attention. Deion Sanders went there and coached for 2 years, and he took the job in Colorado. So there's been a lot of talk about, Deion sold out. But so the conversation that I want to have, and we had it off camera, is because this thing is bigger than Deion.
Right. Absolutely.
Because just because Dion left doesn't mean that we can't try to build programs at our HBCUs. And I know it takes money. I'll let you talk a lot about that. You want to identify, coaches, but I think a lot of it starts with us as parents,
Right.
as moms and dads and aunts and uncles and grandparents. If we start instilling in our kids when they're in middle school, when they're playing Pop Warner,
Mm-hmm.
listen, you guys are pretty good. And after a while, they will play and they'll know who are the best players in the state. And after a while, they'll know who some of the best players in some of the other states. Because, they
Right.
have all these services. Kids got tablets and iPhones. So, they're looking at the rating systems to see what players are rated. They can go on
Right.
YouTube now. All these kids got highlight reels on video
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok or up on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. So I'm sure by, and you would know better than me as a coach, I'm sure by like 8th or ninth grade, kids
Right.
know who is some of the best athletes and best football, basketball, baseball players, not just in their region, but in their state, but just around the country. Because you can see somebody's
Right.
highlight reel from California, Chicago, Detroit, New York, somewhere in Houston, Dallas, maybe up in Seattle, or
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, or all over the country. So,
Right.
how
Well, just
realistic
to
is that, man?
piggyback,
I just wanted
just
to
to
kind of
piggyback on what,
yeah.
just to piggyback on what you were saying, it really starts off at home. Highly classified athletes right now, the exposure, the window of opportunity is really small. They don't understand it until you get to a 4-year college, whether it's Division 2, Division 3, Division 1. You really had a small window to achieve all your goals within them 3 to 4 years, because the coaches are taking these jobs, going elsewhere, to better themselves. So nobody's really loyal. Only body's really loyal is the money, and that's what really controls everything. And that's what Dion did. He brought so much influences with the money because he was a brand himself. Just base it back on my early childhood playing football. I was a highly ranked, skill guy in the state, one of the top guys in my position. But I didn't get recruited by not one HBCU college at all. Even the local schools didn't even recruit me because they thought I was going to go to a Power 5 school. So going back to what you said first, the Pop Warner circuit. Um, I don't even remember seeing a HBCU coach come to the schools. Most of the coaches don't push HBCUs because they're trying to push. They're 1 or 2 guys to go Power 5. Then it makes them look good. They don't want to push. Hey man, you go to Jackson State or you go to South Carolina State or you go to Bandit College or Morehouse or whatever. Yeah, we don't want to push that issue. We want to push. Oh, that guy went to University of Georgia. That's my guy, and so that's what it all boils down to. And that's why, like I said, it's a community. Like you said, it's a community thing, and I think that's uh what Dion was trying to accomplish, but he didn't have enough time to do it. And of course, it's a lot to implement with that when it comes to the funds, scholarships. Division 2, if you go in Division 2, you get 36 full ride scholarships. If you're playing Division 1, you get up to 85, I think it is. So it's a big gap. So in the Division 2 team, you might have 60 kids, but all those 60 kids, only 30 of them on scholarship.
So let me
And
let me let me let me stop you right there. But it's also another point I want to go back to. But at this point right here, so do I understand this right? Because I know we talked about this off camera. So let's just say if Jackson State, because they're in the news, if all of a sudden, like all the alumni at Jackson State decided, we're really gonna pour some money. We've raised $5 million,
right,
in the last year. And this $5 million is to go to really build the program, and I always talk about facilities. That's the weight room and equipment that they have, and I'm sure um, video rooms where they can study film
right,
and all that. Um, but let's just say if they say, you know what, we're coming up with an extra $5 million, so these coaches use that money for scholarships for
right.
athletes. Could they use that money, or does the way the
But
NCAA is, and they're so backwards, are they
yeah, yeah.
still, because they're in, say, Division 2, are they still capped away? Even if
Yeah,
somebody came
yeah,
in with
yeah.
$20 million, they couldn't offer 80 scholarships like Alabama or
Right,
Georgia,
right,
or could they?
right. So,
Or could they?
so, so this is how it goes. So, like you mentioned earlier, the NIL deal. So that has really changed up the way football is done right now. Um, Basically, the the conference or the division, whatever division you're in, holds all the power and resources on how the money is trickled down. So, say if Jackson State is rewarded $10 million, they're going to get the money, but the other schools in the conference ain't getting none of that. So until we start collectively as a whole, I guess we say as a whole community to really support these, I would say conferences, because that's where it boils down to. Like the divisions itself, they need to have more money poured back into the conference. And then we got more money poured back to the conference. Then now you're going to make the Division II, NCAA. You're going to make them say, look, we need more. We need more scholarships. We bring this much money to the conference, but we need more scholarships. So now you can push the issue. But right now, it's not like that.
So let me just and I'm trying to make it real simple for people who are not
Right,
into sports to understand, because they could be part of the solution. Let's just say
right,
if you and I both we hit the Powerball, and we got between us, we got $500 million. It was the
hmm
$1 billion Powerball. You got 500 million. I got 500 million. Let's just say
right,
if you want to take 50 million and give it to, because you're right there in Atlanta, give it
right.
to Morehouse's football program, and let's just say I want to take 50 million and give it to South Carolina State's program so they can offer more scholarships. The individual schools, you couldn't do that.
No, individual schools can't do it. It's only
Oh,
ran by the conference. It's ran by the whole conference itself, and so that's where they can kind of keep control of funds
didn't know that.
distributed.
Okay.
So the thing about everybody knows when it comes to college football, it's the money. It's the money sport. From any division all the way up, people come see college football. They don't pack the stands for basketball games like they pack the stands for football. So that's the biggest money, money pusher. So that money they get from the athletic director, from the athletic department, it gets dispersed to other sports. You know what I'm saying, Geno? So a lot of the small schools, when they do have a good football program, they got to take some of that money they get from the football program and they
And
help out on the
support the other.
basketball program and support the other schools. So it would really take for like millionaires and billionaires to come in and say, look, let's just change this whole conference. Everybody get a piece of the pie. Everybody eats good. So now we can change the way our student athletes look. The way we can recruit for us, having facilities, the good coaches stay around because coaches they'll stay if they feel like you know the school's gonna take care of them. But most of the time, a lot of times these coaches stick around for a couple of years and they're gone to the next, to the next opportunity.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense now, because I actually I didn't know that, and as long as I've been following sports, I knew about the conferences, but because I know
Right,
boosters for years, certain schools have can recruit because they got boosters with deeper pockets
right.
than some of the other schools in the
Right.
conference. So, but in terms of the actual scholarships, um, the conferences, uh, who determines that? The conferences or
The
the
NCAA,
NCAA?
NCAA.
Okay.
NCAA. So, for instance, we spoke off the camera about. So, Benedict College, one of my old former schools I went to, they actually they had a real good program this year. They actually was winning. They went to the playoffs for the first time in school history. So they were a number one seed team. They won their first playoff game, and they were forced to go play all the time to play away as a number one seed because the NCAA conference thought that they weren't going to bring enough people to the game to compensate for that conference, to compensate that money that's going to be in the conference. So pretty much they're saying we're not going to make a lot of money if we have a game hosted here. We need you guys to get on the road and you're going to play somewhere else where they can host, and make sure the fans going to come out. And it's like I said, it's a money thing, man. So they penalize the team for having a good. They penalize the school for having a good team but not having a good fan base,
So
not bringing enough money to the conference.
help me out, because let's come up with a game plan, game recognized game. So
Right,
I'm about, dude. There's a way my grandfather taught me. He said, Jeannie, you do what you want to do when you want to do it bad enough. So I'm like,
right,
all right, well let's come up with. We got folks like you. I got shows, people like me that's got platforms. So let's come up with a game plan. And as the brothers, the older brothers, back on the south side of Chicago, used to tell me when I was a young kid, they say, yo, young fella, I'm gonna put you up on game. So
Yeah,
let's
right.
put folks up on game.
The,
So
the game plan, like you mentioned earlier, it has to start on the Pop Warner circuit. The kids have to get that exposure. You have to take those trips. Take the kids, take the Pop Warner team to a Hampton game. Take them to a South Carolina State game. Embrace that culture early.
okay,
So when they do get highly recruited when they in high school, they gonna always remember going to a homecoming.
I
A
like that.
Morehouse Spelman homecoming. You
Okay,
have to get them exposure early. If not, by the time they go in high school and they start getting recruited, they start getting these letters. It's night and day. If a kid want to go to the University of Georgia or if you're going to go to Morehouse, what are you going to go there for? Basically, are you going to play there for football? You're going to get scholarships or it's this is a whole different. That's a whole different conversation by itself. But you gotta expose those kids early.
yes.
Getting
Yes,
them
we
love,
talked about
the
that.
culture
Plant
early.
that
Yeah,
seed early. So
right.
okay, so let's come up. We're gonna come up with just like listen. You're a coach, so I remember my man Bill Walsh, who I think is the greatest head football coach in the NFL. That's
Right.
a different conversation. I know Belichick, but that's a whole nother Belichick. That's a whole different
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
Bill Walsh and a lot of coaches do it. They will script like the first 15 plays.
Hmm.
They done practiced them. They got them on that little plastic card with the different colors on
Yep.
it. They know exactly these are the first. It's almost like it's like choreography. Here are the
Right.
first 15 plays. This is what we're gonna do. We know
Right.
exactly how they gonna fall. You don't
Right.
rehearsed it, so it's like it's memory, muscle memory. So let's come up with like these first 15 plays. So first play, like you said, is start expose when kids are playing Pop Warner. Take them to the
Right.
homecoming games. Expose them to the whole HBCU culture.
Right.
Get them. Let them know that it's just bigger than sports. It's about building your culture, and you could do that and still go pro and buy your mama a
Absolutely.
new house. You can do all
Absolutely.
that. So I'm thinking one of the next steps should be, okay, you in Atlanta, I'm here in South Carolina, in Charleston. We got some folks maybe that's in Houston, Dallas.
Right.
We may have some folks in Maryland because you got HBCU right there in
Right.
forgot the name right there in Maryland. The name of it
Right.
escapes me.
You got
Uh,
Bowie State.
yeah,
Howard and
right. Was it
QC.
Morgan State?
Morgan State. Morgan
Yeah.
State. You got Corbin State. There's a
Right. Then
bunch of them.
okay. Then we got
Yep.
Howard right down the way.
Right.
So let's just we got some folks in DC. It's like, yo, coach so and so, man, you in DC, man, you got about 10, 15 kids that these ACC schools is looking at it. Even say, okay,
Hmm.
well, I'm here in South Carolina. I can got about 15 or 20 that the Clemson's and South
Hmm.
Carolina and Alabama's looking at. You right there in Atlanta. You
Right.
identifying 10, 15, 20. So let's say,
Right.
look, y'all, you don't need to go to Georgia or Alabama or Duke or North Carolina or Georgia or Texas A&M. Go to
Right.
Morehouse. Go to Alcorn State. Go to J State. Go to Howard, whatever the schools in that area,
Right.
and build those. So if all those kids, 15 or 20 of them, start turning those programs around, then you can make the conference stronger. TV
Right.
contracts will come because
TV contracts.
the TV money gonna go where the ball players are.
Yep.
Just like Jackson
Yep.
State was all on TV this year. So
Right.
just
And,
the whole, because I always think about the Fab Five. Man, just
yep.
imagine in basketball, like so you
Oh
got
man.
LeBron's son, Bronny, Carmelo's son, Scottie Pippen's son. Just imagine if 5 of them say, you know what, we going to Morehouse, or
Right.
we going to wherever, Tennessee State, or we going to Jackson State, or wherever. It would change the
Hmm.
game.
It would change the game. But like you say, and like I say on on the flip side of that, you have to get the coaches involved early. Like these college coaches, these high school coaches don't need, like I say, high school coaches don't need to push HBCUs like they should, because everybody's not going to be a 5 star. Everybody's not going to be everybody's not going to be a 3 star. They don't
Right.
even look at you at Power Five unless you're doing something accessible. We got the height, size, weight, and it's something that stands out about a kid. They're gonna give you an opportunity, but don't mean you're gonna play. The HBCU, at least you can get the opportunity and you get a chance to get on the field. Because of the numbers. It's a numbers game. You got
Right.
100 some players at Division 1, and half of those guys should be Division 2 players. But it's a numbers game. So you get on the field, you have a good career. You get that HBCU experience that you're never gonna get anywhere else. That's a win-win situation for a kid. Uh, Coming, it doesn't matter where they come from, but you have to get these high school coaches and these college coaches talking on the same page. Don't just look at the fact that man, your son is going to UVA and versus going to Hampton. Man, get these high school coaches pushing the HBCUs. Get the middle school coaches involved in getting those high school coaches pushing the HBCUs. That's where it's going to be a trickle down effect. But until that happens, and we just going to be like Deion Sanders, man. He said, it's an ongoing battle.
So how do we get these coaches involved? I mean, listen, I'm biased, but I'm not. You got coaches like yourself that if you got an opportunity at even at a Jackson State or Tennessee
Right,
State or a Morehouse, or Hampton or Howard, and if you can
right,
come in with the right class of like 20, 25 kids, I may not have 35 scholarships, but
right.
it's quality, not
It's
quantity.
quality.
I don't need
Right,
85, but
right.
if I can get 25 to 30, even if I can't get 5 star, maybe I can get a four
That's
star
it.
or 3 star, but enough. But this is where coaching comes in. Coach, I'm going to ask you
That's where
about that.
coaching comes. That's where
Recruiting,
coaching
coach
comes
them
in.
up.
Recruit, coach them up. And I think a lot of the time, like when we talk about the feeder system, when it comes to like the middle school to the high school, they need to have a feeder system for the coaches. Have your high school coaches feed into the HBCU program, and that way you have a track record. That way you have a pipeline, but you can also have access to these kids that you're seeing more than those college coaches going to see. The college career coaching is really short. So it's really hard to keep stability at a college level because of the money. The money. A lot of guys going to leave. You have a good couple programs, had a good couple years. You're going to leave. You're going to, most of the guys going to leave. To feed their family or whatever situation may be, maybe for more opportunities. But if you got a feeder system, so now the man that's behind you, he came through the system. It never stops. It keeps rolling on and on. But until, like you said, until they start that, having these college coaches um, reaching back to these high schools and you feeding these high school coaches to the HBCUs, that's when it changes. But until then, like I said, it's an ongoing battle. Dion did it. You did a hell of a job of bringing the awareness, the excitement that I never seen game day at a HBCU. Good Morning America at a HBCU game. So you're not going to see that probably ever again unless something like that happens. A big time name, and it's enough for us out here to put our money together. It's enough billionaires out here to put our money together to like really bring an impact to these HBCUs. But talk is cheap. You
Right.
got you got
Well,
to do it. Yeah.
let me just say this. Even though you say that game day may never come back, let me just push back. I'll say game day and Good Morning America and the Today Show, they gonna come where they see success.
Success. Yep.
And if you
Yep.
winning, just
They
like
come.
you winning, listen, ESPN is coming, Fox Sports is
Yep.
coming,
Yep. Yep.
Adidas, Nike,
Right.
New Balance, Under Armour, they're coming. So it may not be the quantity, but the quality. So we got
The
about 2
quality.
minutes. So what's the strategy? What game plan? What would you say to parents? Because we talked about was key.
Right.
You got kids
It's
in Pop Warner, uh, uh, middle school, or maybe like ninth graders, freshmen.
right.
How
Get
can
that
we
exposure.
collectively change the culture?
Right. I say change the coaches, get that exposure as soon as possible, early as possible, as soon as possible, and just let the kids know have other avenues of thinking. It ain't all about going Power Five. It ain't all about going to, another school besides, FCS school. It's okay going to HBCU. It's a lot of good, famous people come out of HBCU. A lot of good productive citizens come out of
Let
HBCUs,
me say
and
this real
that's
quick,
that's
because
the
I know
key.
we only got 2 minutes. I didn't mean to interrupt, but this is important. We have a lot of Hall of Famers
Famous.
that went to
Yep.
HBCUs when they didn't let black folks. They didn't want black folks going to the
Right.
SEC. They
Right.
didn't want black folks in Alabama till Southern Cal
Right.
kicked their ass with a bunch of black
Right.
players, and they was like, well, we got to get some of them too. So they didn't
Yes,
even want
sir.
us in
Yep.
their schools.
Yep. Yep. You said it right, Geno. You said it right, man. And that's what it's going to take. Just the exposure early, soon as possible, as much as possible, and that's going to see the trickle down effect.
Good. Anything? What would you say that, like, some of the coaches, or how could some of the younger coaches or coaches is doing great work with young kids, like in high school and some college, like you? What's
Right.
what? Do we need to talk to the presidents so more coaches like you can get those opportunities? Who know how
Right.
to
I
coach
think
and can coach
who
these
know how to
kids up
coach.
and can really like, well, who's this Coach Matthew? What did he do with
Right.
it? Man,
Right. You got to reach back to the guys, the alumni, the guys who played in the program. Reach back to those guys. Those are the ones who really going to be having it powerful. They've been there. They're really going to love what they're doing because they went to school there and they played ball. Those are the guys going to go the extra yard. They're
yeah,
really going to go the extra yard. So that's what it's going to take. Have some alumni guys come back. Give those guys those opportunities and see what happens. Don't go after big name. Go after the guys who actually played from that school
right.
and see
Because
what happens.
there was a time the big names didn't have a big name.
Right.
They
Yeah.
they had to build a big name by success. So
Absolutely.
look at Mike Tomlin. I mean, he's in the NFL. Nobody ever heard of a Mike Tomlin. Who? He had never
He went to
been a head
he
coach.
coached at VMI. First school he coached at VMI,
There you go.
Virginia Military Institute.
Coach Chris Matthews, how can
Yes,
everybody
sir.
follow you on social media, Coach?
You can follow me on Instagram, CMattVA20, or you can follow me on Facebook, Chris Matthews.
Coach Matthews, love and respect,
Yes, sir.
family. Merry Christmas, Happy
Yes,
Kwanzaa,
sir. You
Happy
too,
New Year.
man. Absolutely. Be safe. Enjoy yourself. Tell the family I say hey.
We'll do.
Have a good one, Gino.
We're going to talk after the holiday off camera for sure.
Absolutely. Okay,
Thanks.
brother. Have a good one.
Thanks,
All right.
Coach. All right.
Yes, sir.
He gave us some good advice. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you. So, programming note, I'm feeling like I love you all. I don't want to be gone too long. Yes, I'm looking forward to my holiday break. I need one, but I think I just want to do one more. If you all don't mind, I think I want to do just have fun with it. I want to do one more live show. And tomorrow's really going to be fun. As a matter of fact, I'm going to end today's show with something that I'm going to start tomorrow because the holiday season is here. Tomorrow, Christmas will be 5 days away. So I'm going to end today's show. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show, CEO of Designer Cuts in Goose Creek, South Carolina. Check him out on Instagram, Kel B Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones, she is the drip director, the official wardrobe consultant stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check her out on Instagram, LX.N like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi, underscore, after that last L, which is that little dash below. And Bruce Gage, also wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. He's on Instagram, Miglio D Mario Uomo. That's MIGILIODIMARIOUOMO. I'm going to leave you with a brand new Christmas song and video from my dude, my family, Marcus Allen. I'm going to try to get him on tomorrow. So he's got a brand new Christmas album. Just Google search, check out Marcus Allen, official Marcus Allen on Instagram. Check him out. He's got a brand new Christmas album. It's great. You got to add it to your Christmas music playlist. So I'm going to play his brand new Christmas song. Got a little different flavor to it, but I like it. I think you're going to love it. And hopefully we can get Marcus on tomorrow. So it'll be the last official live show for 2023. So I'm going to leave you with the video that we're going to play tomorrow for sure, but I want you to check it out now. The world premiere of the brand new Christmas song by Marcus Allen. I know you're going to love it, and I love you. Thanks for watching. Check it out.
got your outfit out, ready to hit the town. Cause you know it's Christmas Eve. You said you called your girls, ready to hit the club. Cause it's the place to be. You told them when they ready, pull up, up, up. We ain't about to waste no time, time. Cause you and your girls are dangerous. I'm feeling dangerous. So there's only one thing to do. We gon' dance until it's Christmas. Give you something to remember. We gon' do it your way, it's your holiday. Yeah. VIP all night, sip on this champagne. Yeah. Ordering drinks like we crazy. Dancing on couches, you crazy. Lit in the club, we all turning up. And baby, you're looking amazing. But it's alright, glad you're mine. Wouldn't have it any other way tonight. And if I said I had enough, baby, I lied. So baby, pack it up, time to press rewind. You told them when they're ready, pull up, up, up. We ain't about to waste no time, time. Cause you and your girls are dangerous. I'm feeling dangerous. So there's only one thing to do. We gon' dance until it's Christmas. Give you something to remember. We gon' do it your way, it's your holiday. Yeah. VIP all night, sip on this champagne. Yeah. If it's your birthday, throw your hands up. Yeah. If you love Christmas, throw your hands up. Yeah. If you're making money, throw your hands up. Yeah. If you're here to party, throw your hands up. Yeah. You told them when they're ready, pull up, up, up. We ain't about to waste no time, time. Cause you and your girls are dangerous. I'm feeling dangerous. So there's only one thing to do. We gon' dance until it's Christmas. Give you something to remember. We gon' do it your way, it's your holiday. Yeah. VIP all night, sip on this champagne. Yeah.
The directors.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.